Welcome, 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 guys, to my Traitors USA. Yes, we are back for Traitors USA season 3, and we are doing a cast assessment tonight. Yes, I know you're like, but the show starts tomorrow. That's why we're doing it tonight. So, with me to introduce you to the new cast of Traitors and Faithfuls is Janelle Michelle. And let me wear banner so you know her name. And Miss T Joy. Welcome, guys. How are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
I am good. Ready to actually talk about the season. I'm actually kind of excited for the season because I feel like we might actually get a good game going. I feel like a good mix of like entertainers and strategic minds in this season. Whereas, like, I haven't felt that with last season. With season 2, season 3, we know we had um, a mix of uh, celebrities and non-celebrities, and still, spoiler alert, Cerie ran circles around everybody.
Yes.
um, but yeah, so I am excited to see how this cast actually does this season, just for that.
Yes, I'm excited. I only know the reality people. I don't know many of the other castmates. So I am interested to see how my reality people do.
Oh, fair. I do. So some of the people I kind of know. Some of the people kind of don't know. I tried to do a little bit of research on some of them, because it's like it really is. If you're thinking about celebrity or pseudo celebrity, it's a pretty mixed bag of people who actually you might know and people you possibly have never heard of in the
Right.
world, right?
Right.
Which is kind of good, because in that way you might you don't know what you're going to get. There could be like somebody who's a celebrity Jace who has the most brilliant mind, can run circles around everybody who's like a gamer. So it'd be interested to see if we have anybody like kind of pop out like that. And then you can have celebrities who people might not think of them as someone who is strategic. They have a good social battery, but maybe they're not thought of gaming as strategic, right? And they might end up being strategic. We saw that with Bergie last season. We saw that with Peter, Pilot Pete.
Mhm.
So I think for a lot of people, they were surprisingly very good at picking up the game and inserting them. While they did not in the end win, they brought something like, oh wow, they really actually were good. And maybe if they played the game again and made a little changes, maybe they could win the next time, right?
Mhm.
I will again say that I would like them to do a cast of non-celebrities
Right. Right. Right.
in the US. And I get that they're like, but they're not entertaining. I get that. And I understand that they might all be stupid. We see it in the UK. We see
Oh
it in
Lord, do we?
Australia. But sometimes watching them be that stupid
That was a
can be
lot.
entertaining.
That was a lot. That was a lot.
Last season
I don't
of
even
UK
talk about.
was
I, don't- I don't even want to
last
get into it.
season of UK
I
was a
don't.
lot.
It was a lot. I think that
I mean,
they.
I was screaming every. Are y'all dumb? Are y'all dumb?
What were you gonna say, Janelle?
I said, I think they picked the reality people because that's draw. They feel like I'm like, oh, all these survivors, these Big Brother players, like I want to see how they do. So I think that's the only reason why they pick known people to bring eyes onto the show. They might fear that if they pick a bunch of nobodies that people won't watch. But at one point, all these reality people were nobodies. They
Nobody.
had their first season of something and they obviously served as entertaining. I think that they could absolutely pick people that have never done reality TV and still have a good cast. You
I
know,
agree. I agree. That's the point that I keep coming to, is that at some point, like, I mean, while some people like, let's take Taylor Hale. She was a Miss USA, right? But really, she never played a game. Came in, blew the game out the water, right? So it's like, you could get that, either they have like some sort of background that maybe a few people know them, but they could absolutely come and blow the game out the water just from actually being who they are. And that is why I need you to do at least one season of just all non-celebrity people. And I do know that they have, I believe they've renewed it for 2 more seasons. So I was hoping one of those seasons will be a non-celeb cast. In the UK, they have renewed, I believe, for a non-celeb season, and they're going to do a UK celebrity season. So I'm also excited to see how the UK does with a full celebrity season, because are they going to get what we're seeing in the US with their celebrities in the UK? So we're going to welcome Rafi. Hi, Rafi. Welcome.
Hey,
You. And so I'm excited. We're going to get started. And I did a little slideshow. So let's see if it, if it works out for us. I think I took the music down. Nope. Did not. There we go. Okay. So let's get started. And let me share my screen.
excuse me.
Bless you.
Excuse me.
So first up, we have Bob Harper. And Bob Harper, if you do not know, was a host, I guess, or a trainer. Yeah, he was the host and a trainer of The Biggest Loser on NBC.
That's him?
Yep.
That's Bob.
Doesn't he looks kind of different with the mustache, but that's him.
No, he just looks old. Like, I have not seen him, and I cannot believe that's him. I did looking at this cast.
I think if he didn't have the mustache, it would still be him. It was still, but that mustache throwing me off, because I had to remember. I had to really like, oh my gosh, like that mustache was throwing me off.
Yeah, Biggest Loser was my show. I have not seen him since I've seen him on The Biggest Loser. I have no idea what he's been up to. Now I'm super interested to see how he does. I mean, Biggest Loser was a reality competition show, I guess, but he was just the coach. He wasn't competing.
But I think that's going to be his thing. He's going to be, I'm wondering if he's going to be like a Peter and have his people where he feels like he has to lead them and coach them and tell them, when we get in the round table, you say this, you can do it, you do this, you do, you know, like he
very motivational. Yeah. I could see that. I could see Bob having a really good. He was always one of my favorites on Biggest Loser. I can see him having one of those social games that he will have if he's a traitor or he's a faithful. He will have a group around him because just of his aura. If he still has that aura. Now we do know on a personal note that he has had. I believe he had to have like open heart surgery at one point because he had like a heart problem, I believe. So, you know, that also changes your perspective on life and, you know, your thought process on how you think things should like go. So if he's like a faithful or a traitor, he might just, you know, listen, life's short, I'm going after blood. Faithful, you know, justice, right is right, that kind of stuff, depending on how that kind of situation affected your life, right? So I am kind of excited to see how Bob plays this game. I think he could do well. I think he
And
could be a sleeper.
based
Yeah.
off my memory of this, it's been like I can't even tell you when's the last time I watched The Biggest Loser, but I have no idea how I think he's gonna play based off The Biggest Loser. I do remember him being like a compassionate person. He was way better than Jillian. Like he
Yes.
was nicer.
That's what I'm saying. He was always one of my favorites because
Yeah.
he would motivate you, but he was passionate and he was kind.
Yes.
Jillian would motivate you through
And then
madness.
Beat you
tear you
up.
down.
Like okay, Tamika, but go do those 10 laps first.
Yeah.
Dry those tears. Yeah, I'm interested to see now that I actually recognize who he is. I'm interested to see. I actually hope he does well. So
Me too.
Me too. So next up we have Bob, the drag queen.
So Bob's from Drag Race, correct?
Yes.
I
RuPaul's
believe
Drag
so.
Race.
Yeah,
RuPaul's
I
Drag Race.
don't know anything about Bob. I don't really watch Drag Race, but
Me
I've
neither.
seen some clips of Bob and I'm rooting for Bob. I cannot wait to see. Their energy is amazing. Like I'm enjoying his commentary. Like I just from the snippets of him, I love Bob. Does he go by him? Does anybody know his pronouns?
They might go by they.
I'm not sure. Yeah, I want to be
Yeah, I'm
respectful.
not sure. So, but Bob won season 8 of RuPaul's Drag Race in 2016 and went on to host
Oh,
Max's We're Here in 2020. They okay,
Oh,
so it looks like they go by they. They also
okay.
host a podcast called Sibling Rivalry with their drag sister Monet Exchange.
And I
Now,
heard that was really
I've
good.
heard that name, yeah, before.
okay.
So, um, again, so because obviously with this platform I tried to go and like start following people and kind of looking at them when they get cast for these shows. So I started following Bob and looking at their videos like on TikTok and stuff like that. Very, very lovely personality.
Yeah.
I like fun but also like very I don't know how, like maybe haughty. Like Rafi says, yes, love Bob. Yeah, like from a viewer standpoint, I think absolutely will probably be like that person in the confessionals giving us a lot of just feedback that we're gonna love.
Yeah,
Like
I'm loving everything from Bob. Like there was a clip of him trying to take Alan's hosting or them trying to take Alan's hosting job. I don't know. I think their commentary is just going to be off the charts. Like I'm
exactly,
so that their
exactly.
game skills match to their personality. Like
Yeah,
I really want to see what they can do. Like I really
same. And we so far haven't had the best track record
right.
of our drag queens being able to maneuver through this game, whether through some sort of discriminatory actions or just because they're big vibrant personalities. So I would be very, very excited to see if they can like actually maneuver through this game and be allowed to. It would
Right.
be absolutely wonderful to see, and maybe they could be the first drag queen to win the show.
Let's
Maybe
have it.
soon.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Britney Haynes.
Britney.
Brittany.
Yes.
Big
So,
brother royalty, Britney.
yes. So, Britney Haynes, we most recently saw on the cast of Big Brother
Right.
Reindeer Games.
Mhm.
Yes. But also competed in seasons 12 and 14, and is best friends with Ariana Grande's brother, Frankie Grande, who I believe also competed on 14, right?
Are they really best friends? Like, they good friends, but are they really best friends?
Yeah. If you watched Reindeer Games, they really were.
I mean, no, I mean they're friends outside of here. And okay. It's relative. They're not really best friends, but they besties in the house. Or no, I mean no, because I watched it. But if you follow her, you don't be seeing them in video. Like they're friends, but they're not really best friends.
Wait, I don't understand what you mean. You
Like
have to explain.
like they're friends and they hang out sometimes. But you know how you have your best girlfriend and like you really mean your best friend. That's not really her best friend. In the house
Maybe
here,
best big brother friend? Is that what you think?
Yes.
Okay.
But
I
Danielle
said I know I've seen them hang out and chat and stuff like that. That's why I was confused.
Yeah. No, they're close, but I'm saying it's not her bestie, but it is her big brother bestie. Yeah. And Danielle Reyes was supposed to be her big brother, really close friend too, but we see how that went.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, Big Brother Reindeer Games was supposed to be on Paramount Plus. So if you wanted background history of what is about to probably be introduced to you on this show, you would have that background information. Unfortunately, that will not happen because they removed it from streaming in the last week. Once the new year hit, they removed it from streaming. And so yeah, if you wanted that background information, you won't be able to actually watch it. But I will suggest you can go back to our coverage of Big Brother Reindeer Games on this channel, and we discussed it at length. So that's the best I could do for you. But yes, Britney Haynes has never won Big Brother, competed a number of times. From what I've seen, very, very good at comps. Pretty good social game.
Mm-hmm.
I think she's very like you will be blindsided by her personality. I think she can be a bit cutthroat, but also just sweet as pie. Yeah. And so she goes far. Usually. Because Big Brother Reindeer Game, she went about what, 4th? No, 5th.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was 5th.
Mm-hmm.
So, she could be a sleeper. She could absolutely win this thing.
Oh, absolutely.
I would not count her out. She has a good social game. She knows how to win challenges. I would not count her out. I don't know how she would be as a traitor.
Agreed. Yeah,
but
I don't think that would be a positive for her personality type.
Yeah,
right. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm most interested to see what happens with her and Danielle. I know you said go back and watch, but for those, I think we should tell the people there's another house guest that was also on, or not house guest, good Lord. There's another member of this cast that was also on Reindeer Games with Britney, and they did not end on the best of terms.
Yeah, I was going to talk about that more with Danielle.
Okay, well, I'll hold
but I saw kind of, because I was like, we'll probably have to talk about that because it really was on Danielle's side, and I agreed with Danielle's thought process on it. I think for Britney, it was just in her head. It was either game or there was a little bit of discriminatory thought process in it on a few lines. So we'll talk about that when we get to Danielle. But yes, Britney Haynes, I would say as well, watch her. Hi, Dreadful Ruby. Welcome to the show. Long time no see. So Dreadful Ruby says between Britney, Bob, and Caroline, we're going to get some great confessionals. If you're saying Bob the drag queen, I can agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. I also think it'll depend on who the traitors are as well. Because being a
Carolyn is going to be a hoot. Carolyn, I love Carolyn.
I loved Carolyn, her season of Survivor. I was so sad when she did not place. It frustrated me. But she is a hoot. So we'll see if that carries over from Survivor here. Rafi also agrees with the thoughts on confessional. And yes, Driver Ruby is saying Bob the drag queen for sure. So yes, I would listen. Utter sleeper. She could carry this entire thing home. Watch out for Britney. Next up will be the Caroline herself.
The devil.
And I love her portrait.
It's good. It's good.
It's so good and it's so her.
Yeah, it is.
It just edgy,
Yeah.
with a touch of like whimsy, but also gorgeous,
Mhm.
right? And so Caroline is from Survivor. I forget what season 45 or
I don't know
44.
these numbers. Like she was on the
What are
season
we on
medium
now?
one. That's what I
45?
say.
I think we're on
42.
48.
40.
It was like 45.
What?
Was
We're on 48? Oh shoot. Yeah, then it was 45. It was 3 seasons ago. So if we're on 48, it was 45.
Yeah.
So yeah, Caroline was on 45. She did get to the end game, but unfortunately nobody respected her game.
Right.
And so while she did contribute highly to the game, her counterpart who she was working with very closely in the game was the ultimate victor in this
Mhm.
that season, and that is not to downplay his win. He absolutely also deserved to get to the end and to win. But I was just sad she didn't get more love in the jury. I do know she has I would say, how do you say it? She has struggled with some substance abuse
Mhm. Mhm.
in recent years. She had an abusive relationship. She looks healthy. I do hope that between her Survivor experience and what she's experienced in life, that she comes out here and bees her big, vibrant self,
Mhm.
but also do kind of what she did in Survivor, play it a little low,
Yep.
but get to the end.
Yep. Absolutely.
And I think she could do it.
Mm.
I think she can.
Mm.
What's your thoughts, Janelle?
I think she's more of a character than she was a player, and my opinion could be a little clouded with some conversations I had. Like, I feel like how she was edited, how she was received by the audience, isn't necessarily how she was received by her castmates. Like, we had this perception of a fun, bubbly personality. I don't know if that's the perception that the people that played and lived with her had. So I am interested to see how her personality type goes over in Traitors, because I don't think it's going to go over well. Hope I'm wrong. Nothing against her. I just don't think it's going to go over well. Like, I saw her walk up to Jeremy and she was like, "You probably don't know me, but I know you." I just think that was like the wrong introduction. I don't know. I just don't know how her personality is going to fit into a game like this. They'll be like, "Oh, you were breathing heavy, that's a traitor." Like, they suss out especially at the beginning when you have just like absolutely nothing to go on. And I've seen a couple clips and she's saying things like, "I should probably like sit and be quiet, but that's boring." Like, which is her.
Which is her, which is what I said. I need her to show herself, but also know when to rein
I
it
don't
in.
know if that's
But
possible.
she doesn't really know when to rein it back. That's always been her
That's what I
downfall.
worry about. I don't know if that's possible for her. So I'm interested to see how she does. I know she'll be funny. I know she'll give great commentary. I'm just interested to see how her personality and her social game can fit into a game like Traitors. I just don't have a lot of faith, but I could very well be wrong.
And what's your thoughts, Miss T Joy, on Caroline?
I agree with her, and I always said when I was watching her and I learned her backstory, and she was talking about, her her past with substance abuse, and also with being in, you know, a domestic situation that was not good. I think when you're in that type of situation and you feel muffled and you feel like somebody shuts you up and kind of holds you down, you want to be able to express yourself openly and all the time and say what I want to say, and I don't have to hide it. And she blurts stuff out, and it's like she feels like it's her way to be free, but there's also decorum. And even even in your ability to want to be free to say whatever you want to say, you still have to be able to read the room, and you still have to be able to pick up on social cues, and she doesn't do that. And so I think that can really cost her. I really think that can cost her.
So we have Daryl here. Daryl says,
Daryl.
"Welcome, Daryl."
Yeah,
Daryl says Caroline either goes out early or makes it far, and I can absolutely see it like that cut and dry. It's either like one or the other.
I'm curious, ladies. Like if I were in this house, of what I know of her, like I would not gravitate to work towards her with her. Like
I would use her as cover. Yeah,
you would what?
use her as cover.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I would be like, I'm gonna go that way if Carolyn's over there.
I have more of a subdued personality. I would use her as cover.
Yeah.
I like, she said that? Like, let me go talk to her, and then I'll just let her do whatever the frick that she wants to.
Like her as a traitor would be like, I feel like that would be hilarious and a disaster. Like,
yes, it would definitely be a disaster. Great TV.
I didn't have 4 traitors at that point because she going out.
Yeah.
No. It's like bad. Jennifer Ruby says Carolyn is so wild with facial expressions that they will never be able to go off of them because they'll learn fast that that's just how she is. And it's exactly right. That's why I'm saying I would use her for cover, because you would never know what she's thinking or what she's going to do. And I'd be like, we're going to go after Bob Harper tonight. And Caroline would be like,
but in the beginning, they pick on you because of that. You're just an easy out. They'll be like, oh no, even if she's not trained, she just bad for the game. We don't want, she's just too much. We don't want her. Get her out. And because they don't know yet who the traitors are, so they're just looking for anything. And she could be the one that they're like, just leave, let her go. I don't know. Yeah. I can't call it with her. Get her
Miss
out.
T Joy, they're looking for anything, and it's like Carolyn has everything.
Right?
Like everything that you could call out. She's so unique. She's so herself. It's completely authentic, but she's quirky. She's different. You know what I mean? And that's why she is so popular, but I just don't know how that fits into this game.
Yeah.
I can see Bree. I'm not Bree, Nikki. I can see Nikki Bella, but now she goes by Garcia, but her wrestling name, Nikki Bella. I could see her being like, it's her. I don't, we need to get her. I don't, I can see her. I can see her saying it. And Ayan would be like, what is she doing? What is that face? What is this? What is this? I can see it going.
Daryl says Caroline could win, and her social game would help her, might help her, and these big players can be used as shields. That's exactly my thought process on it. Judge Ruby points out that Carson and Caroline spoiled who one of the surprise players coming in is. They said they needed to delete that part but didn't, and I'm sure if people consider it a spoiler or not. Yeah, so we don't do spoilers on here, but for anybody who does, you can go take a look at that. I know I was watching a live with last season's Bergie, and he also said like he knows who comes in and what they do and all that stuff, but he thankfully nicely did not spoil it on live when he was talking. It was a TikTok live, I believe, with his girlfriend Taylor. So we will see. Next up is
I'm glad I didn't see that. I don't want any spoilers.
So we have Chanel Ayan, and I believe she's from the Real Housewives of Dubai.
Yes.
Mm.
Um, and let me,
And she is a character, baby.
I don't
yes.
know her, but she's beautiful.
Yes,
She
well, she was a supermodel, and she is a main cast member on the Real Housewives of Dubai, which right now currently is on pause.
canceled. It's canceled. It's not
Yeah.
coming.
The on pause means
Giving people false hope. Giving people false hope. Like Dorinda is on pause, you know.
yeah, it's on pause, meaning it's canceled for right now. But you know what? If something surprisingly makes its way, it'll be like, oh, the Real Housewives of Dubai is back. We were never canceled. It was just on pause.
Like if Rihanna moved to Dubai, it would come back. Like if she said she would be on it, like something like that. But
yeah.
she is from is it Senegal?
Senegal, okay.
Originally. I don't know. I that might not be accurate, but I think and so she she is living in Dubai. She has one son, Taj. He should be 18 now. He was a senior the last season. And he has now become a model.
Nice.
So she likes that. He's following in her footsteps. She has started a beauty line. So she, is doing that. She was kind of like the breakout character on Housewives of Dubai. And she had her best friend, Lisa Milan, was her best friend, but they fell out. So, there's that. But she really is a character. She's a wild character like Carolyn. That's what I'm saying. They're either going to click or they're going to clash because they're kind of quirky, like together, like similarly. Like she blurts out stuff, and she's also like, what is this? I don't know what this is. Like sometimes she'll forget like English words. She'll be like, I forget what's the English word for that. I forget, so she's that type of person. So she's very interesting. Oh, and she wears the most. Her and Alan together, they're going to be competing for the most fashionable. She wears the most outrageous but fashionable outfits. Like even when it's casual, she looks like she's going to a gala. Like she just doesn't halfway do anything. She's never going to be in sweats. Like when they try to put them for the different challenges, I want to know how she's going to react to having to put on a sweatsuit or if they make them wear something like.
How is she going to react to getting like muddy and all that stuff? Exactly. Listen, Chanel is cast to, I believe, for her wit,
yes,
and her beauty,
yes,
and her style.
Yes.
She is coming to bring the fashion.
Yes,
but we might get a slight little, I don't know about social game.
She's not winning though.
But she might have some input. We don't know.
Okay.
I'm not gonna count them out. I'm not gonna count them out. She might get an accidental end, get to the end, right? We'll never know. But that's not why
she would be carried. If she got to the end, it would be because somebody like literally carried her. Like the traitor, the traitor was like, I'm gonna carry you because you don't know. Like, because she would be that person to be close to the traitor. And not know, like the whole time. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, and be like, and then here she would go at the end. I was your friend. What you did this to me?
It'd be MJ 2.0. It'd be MJ 2.0. Yes. Rafi points out, hey, put Bailey on there. So if you don't know, Bailey from Big Brother currently lives in Dubai with her 2 children and her husband Swaggy, who was also on Big Brother. And yes, that would be a nice reboot to the Real Housewives of Dubai. Bring a little America.
That would be nice. I wonder if she would do it.
Yes. See,
Oh,
call us for all your casting choices, guys. We got the idea.
are any of
Yeah.
the other ladies on the cast anywhere in Bailey's age demographic?
No, which is even more reason to put her
Yeah, she
on.
would be the youngest one. How old is Bailey now? 27,
Like
28?
30?
Yeah,
Oh,
close to 30.
oh yeah, she just turned
She's
30.
in her 30s because
Lisa Milan is in her late 30s, I think. I don't think she quite turned 40. And she was on college. She was like on season 2 of College Hill when it used to come on BET College Hill.
mm-hmm.
So I think she's probably in her late 30s, like 38 maybe. So I mean, you know.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think that sometimes that's what you need to like reinvigorate a show, right? You need that to bring in that younger energy,
Yeah.
just for those dynamics. So yeah, that would be lovely. And Daryl says that Alan would be like, back off, bitch, and I absolutely see it.
I can see Alan like saying Bob is trying to come and host and you trying to wear all the outfits. Both of y'all better back off before I go off. Like I can see that dynamic. Like, you know what I mean? That would be funny.
Yep. And so also here we have Chrishell Strauss, who is a real estate agent and who also is a main cast member on Netflix Selling Sunset. We know she's married to G Flip. Oh, I guess she's married. I didn't realize they got married. So she is married to musician G Flip. She was previously married to Jessica Hartley. That's what I said. I'm like, what? I didn't realize they got married.
Engaged. Okay.
Mm-hmm. But she was previously married to Justin Hartley from This Is Us.
Yeah.
And that was a whole big storyline on her show.
That was a mess. And
yeah.
She just flipped it, didn't it? And then all of a sudden she was into okay.
Yeah. With Chrishell, again, beautiful woman. Oh, Rafi says they eloped in Vegas. Did not know that.
Okay.
Yeah, so with Chrishell, I can see her either doing fairly well, or just really just kind of standing by. I'm not really sure about her strategic mind.
No,
now,
she's good.
I'm gonna tell you who she thinks she is. She gonna think she the Trishelle of this season. That's who she gonna think she is. The Trishelle of this season.
Yeah,
you gotta watch her. You gotta watch her.
Well, listen, she as Daryl brings up in the comments, she talks about some of the other reality stars that do end up being on this season. Like she specifically names one that is there. So she's watching reality TV in some capacity. She's watching competition shows. So maybe she'll surprise us.
Yeah, so that's what I said. I'm leaving room that she could be a surprise sleeper, kind of like a Pilot Pete. Because I had no expectations for that man, and he came in and
sure did not. She talked bad about Pete.
Well, if you would have seen him,
it was like not on Team Pete at all.
Yeah. And I will continue to.
Well, coming from Bachelor Nation, you would talk about him too.
Yeah.
Give me an earful.
Dow says Chrishell said she doesn't want to see Boston Rob. She said seeing him would be like seeing a great white shark. Oh.
Yeah. They're going to be after his neck.
And guess who's there?
Boston Rob.
Guess who's there? Boston Rob. And Rafi does point out Chrishell is a huge reality TV fan. Right. So I think socially she will do well. Mm-hmm. She knows the people. She knows what they're about. She knows what they're bringing to the game. I just don't know about her strategic mind. Now, I was going to say, as a real estate agent, I think sometimes it does take a bit of strategic things like, you're trying to get into the house first. You're trying to sell the house. You're trying to, so I can see that actually also helping her.
Yeah.
But are they really selling real houses on Selling Sunday? You would have to tell me. So.
And plus,
from what I'm hearing,
the clients, once you get a platform like she has, the clients come running to you.
Yeah,
right. That's what I'm saying.
You might get them right.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, wait, I know an agent in the area. That's it. That's all.
Yeah.
So yeah. Next up we have, let's see, who's next? We have Ciara Miller.
Oh, I have no idea who Miss Ciara is, but she's cute.
Yes.
Oh, yes, Ciara, who has kind of like had like a little blow up like recently. Like she got to interview and talk to Oprah when like The Color Purple and all that stuff came out. She was so excited. She just could not believe she was doing
Oh,
that.
you mean a blow up in
Um,
a good way?
huh?
You mean a blow up in a good way? I
Yes,
thought
like a blow up in a good way. She had a little blow up in a good way. Like I'm just not on this summer house. Like I'm getting respected. I'm invited to Essence events, and you know what I mean. Like I'm coming out, and
So
so that's a good thing because at first I think on there she kind of got grouped in because I don't know. Do y'all watch Summer House?
this is
No,
not Summer House Martha's Vineyard, then?
no, not
No,
Martha's
okay.
Vineyard.
Yeah, I
This is
really don't know
the OG Summer House, which Martha's Vineyard is. They basically kind of twisted it to fit the Martha's Vineyard, but with an all black cast. This cast is more multi-racial, cultural, that kind of stuff.
Oh, yeah, I don't know her. Good
Yeah,
for
Yeah. Yeah. So it was predominantly Caucasian though, really. And
yeah,
then they had like sprinkle like maybe two black people on there. And then when they did Winter House, they had like a black guy and a black man. I mean a black man and a black woman. So it's kind of like sprinkle. Just
Mm.
yeah,
like how they're trying to sprinkle some people in Southern hospitality. It's those kind of shows that are like predominantly white, right? So when it first came out and she was on there and it was like kind of like another black girl and they kind of didn't get along and the other black girl felt like you know how some people say, oh, you present yourself as just being kind of even though you're black as though you're not really black. So that was kind of like a thing, and she kind of came out of that for for her now to be invited to Essence events and people saying no, she's just herself, and she came from a particular part of New York and Manhattan, and she came from a certain tax bracket and these were her friends, but that doesn't take away from the fact that she's a black woman, and
Yeah.
she really is, a black woman who's true to her roots. These are just happen to be her friends. So she's kind of had like a little blow up, when I would
Well,
say,
good
like
for
where she's
her.
in all kinds of spaces now, not just these Bravo spaces.
yeah. So she's been on the cast since 2021. I don't know much about her. I just really kind of see what I seen on internet. Her going back and forth with some cast members. That's kind of about it. But that's great that she's like breaking into other venues. We know, like with Bravo and Netflix, some of these shows are like getting rebooted. The cast members are getting funneled out. Like we saw that with Vanderpump Rules, right?
Right.
So it's always good to start branching off because you never know where you need to go.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't know how she will be because Summer House is just such a party show. Like they just throw parties for stupid stuff. Like, oh, they wake up. Oh, let's throw a pig party and we gonna inflate pigs and throw them around and oh, everybody gets a lay and we just gonna have bright lights and stuff. It's just that type of then they go out to eat and drink. It's that kind of show, right? They just
Right.
come back every weekend and do this stuff. So there's nothing strategic about, so it's just they get drunk and fuss. Okay. So that's just so I really don't know how she'll do in a strategic setting. I have no idea. I have no idea.
What do you think how she'll do with her social game? Do you think she'll have good
Oh,
social
she
game?
can be social, very social, and she can fit in with all types of people.
Hmm.
That's
Right.
something to her strength.
Right.
It doesn't matter your gender or your color. She can find something to talk about with you. So I
Right.
think that will be to her benefit. That's the only
Good.
thing
I
that
can see that.
I can say. I think that'll be to her benefit.
Yeah. And I also can see that maybe she doesn't last long on the show, but maybe she does enough to make a bit more of her name for herself
Right.
coming
Exactly.
off this. So
Exactly.
hoping for good things for Ciara. Let's see what she does.
Yes,
Next up,
yeah.
and she looks good in that, is the Danielle Reyes herself.
My girl. My girl.
Yes. So Big Brother alum Danielle Reyes, the best to never win.
I know. Oh, I know.
She was runner up on Big Brother season 3, and because of her runner up status, completely changed and affected the way the game of Big Brother is played moving forward. In her season of Big Brother, the jury members were not sequestered. They went home, watched the show, watched you talk shit about them in your confessionals, and then came back
And
and
voted.
voted for you.
Yeah.
Because they were bitter.
Yeah.
And then after that, Rafi says Queen, absolutely.
Absolutely.
After Danielle didn't win, because basically she was playing them, which is her job. If you want to win, she was playing a lot of them. She got her person in the show, and that's technically the only person she was really loyal to in her season 3, which was Jason. And then she cut him for her semi, like they weren't partners, but at the point they all kind of decided to ride to the end, and she felt like it would be, her against her, and that she would pull it out because she did more of the strategy,
Right.
where the other person played a little more from the
Backseat.
but because of the jury not being sequestered and them hearing all the stuff that she did in order to play, ultimately they did not choose her to win the game, and so she was runner up. On to what we were talking about earlier with Britney Haynes, where she appears on Big Brother Reindeer Games last year. They've only had one season, and they were coming into the show really good friends as alumni. And while they didn't play on the same season, Danielle is highly respected by the Big Brother community.
Absolutely.
As I said, she affected the game so much. And like I said, people feel like she is the best to never win. And so I believe she came into the show really being very loyal to Britney because of the cast that was there. They were one of the only two to never win the game.
Yeah, and they were friends.
Yeah.
Ultimately, Britney allowed thought processes in watching Danielle play to feel like Danielle was playing her. So she saw Danielle cozying up to certain people on the show. Few Black cast members, is particularly one Big Brother winner, Xavier Prather, and thought he was her new Jason, and that Britney would not be able to trust her. And so at the end of the day, when it came down to it and Britney had a choice to choose to send someone into a certain challenge, she actually chose Danielle instead of someone else that she did not have loyalties to.
Right.
And hearing a lot of the confessionals, Danielle was a bit upset at how things happened. She ultimately did go out. And she, as Daryl points out here, Danielle is angry at herself because she trusted somebody in reindeer games, right? She does trust very little because she knows how to play this game. It's hard to trust if you want to play the type of game that a Danielle played. To be fair, I feel like the closest person to play similar to her is Chelsea. That just, spoiler alert, won Big Brother 26 because she made sure to get in good with everybody, but she talked a lot of shit.
It was all accurate though.
I mean, some of it was me. But ultimately, because Murray is sequestered, they didn't find out until after the show. And I do think that some friendships have been like affected, to know that. But at the end of the day,
sorry, MJ.
Sorry, Angela. But at the end of the day,
Oh, no
she
one's sorry for
ultimately was still able to get that win, and her gender, her race, her cutthroatness did not affect her in that manner. Daryl says, sounds like she got screwed by a non-sequester jury, just like Russell Haynes. That's
No,
exactly not what
no, no.
happened.
Russell Hands lost
Russell
because he has
Haynes
a
lost.
terrible social game. That's why
Fair and
Russell
square,
Hands lost.
because he had a shit social game. And to be fair, he lucky he got that far because they tried to get him out. How many people tried to tell him, do not take him to the end?
Mhm.
I
I
think
don't
at
know
least
much about
four
Survivor, but I
people
know
were
like
trying to
the
get him
April
out before,
comeback.
and he got carried. Yeah, like
Yeah, that's it. Rafi says BB3 was 23 years ago, and I'm still mad she lost.
hello.
Uh, um, and Rafi's laughing at us, but yeah. So again, we did see a bit of a clip of her and Britney coming into the game at the same time.
Mhm.
Britney seems to be making bygones with her because, according to her, she was the last person she wanted to see. And that's because they did not leave good, and they weren't good up until pretty much the show started. So, from what we know.
I'm curious to see, like, that's what I'm most like. I don't like, I'm like, they did this on purpose. They know that there is
Oh
beef and they
yes,
did
Oh,
those
yes,
two on purpose. So
yes.
I hope, this is what I hope, because I enjoy both Danielle. I got to meet her this past year and I about died when I saw, I'm like, she's so nice, so sweet, so beautiful.
really.
Oh my God, doesn't look anywhere near her age. Like she's
I know she
everything.
looks so
She looks
good.
so good. And she's teeny, teeny, itty bitty. And I'm tall though, but still so nice, so personable. I just got to like sit down and talk with her for like 30 minutes. She was everything. Anyways, I really enjoy her and I really enjoy Britney. I enjoy their commentary. We know Danielle, she has the skills to play and be a strong player in this game, whether traitor or faithful. I hope she's a traitor because that'll give her a leg up, in my opinion. But I'm really interested to see what happens with her and Britney. I hope that they can be like a Sandra and a Parvati and get in there and just mend fences like, hey, there's no need to go after each other. I don't want like Britney going over trying to get Danielle, Danielle trying to get Britney. I think it would be advantageous for them to like work together. Like I wouldn't want to have an enemy on day one, or at least if they don't work together, not be like going at each other. But we'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
I think Danielle's gonna tell her, no, okay, yeah, I forgive you. And
yeah,
I think she's going to keep her close as long as she can, but then she's gonna cut her as soon as she can put the knife in her back, she gonna put it in there.
yeah,
But
That's
she
fine
gonna
by
pretend
me. That's
but she
fine by
gonna
me.
pretend like it's all good. She
But
gonna
yeah,
I just
fake it like she gonna make her earn the apology, but then she gonna put like, oh, okay, you just really hurt me, but I get it, and I just don't want to do this here. And you're right, we have a long history, so let's just try to work together. She gonna tell her, she gonna coax her in, but she already don't trust people, and now you don't cross her, so it's like you'll never be trusted again in life. But I'm gonna fake it
exactly,
till I make
Rafi.
it. Yeah.
Exactly what Rafi said. Like I agree. I
yeah.
just it would be so
Rafi says Big Brother never works together. I need them to squash the beat for the sake of the game. Period.
yes. Because even if, like I said, even if they don't work together per se, I would just hate for them to see poison each other's game from the beginning. You know, just go play. Let
Yeah,
bygones be bygones. Get her when you can, Danielle.
yeah,
But
yeah. Basically that, and that's all you can do.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I am looking forward to watching Danielle play. I hope she maybe starts as a faithful and then eventually gets recruited as a traitor.
That'd be awesome.
That would be amazing because I would love to see kind of like what we just saw with Claire on RHAP Traitors, where she got to play both, and just watching her play those both sides was amazing. And so, and Claire is also a Big Brother player, alumni. So I would love that. That would probably be my dream scenario right now. But either way, having Danielle Reyes back on our screens is going to be a treat. This is one of the most brilliant strategic
I
queens,
want her
and
to
she
win. I
yes,
want
and she
her
has a
to
great
win.
social game as well, right? She's gonna give us confessionals. She's gonna talk shit in them. She just will talk shit to everybody's face, and it's gonna be great. I love it.
Oh my god, I want her to win.
Yeah. Next up, we have Dolores Catania.
Catania. Dolores Catania. From the Real
Uh,
Housewives of New Jersey.
Never
Yeah.
heard of her.
You never heard of her?
Nope.
Let me tell you. Heard of Teresa?
Yes.
Okay, she's Dolores from Patterson. Her and Teresa have been friends since they were 5 years old. They know each other like way back. So they're like real friends. They're not just
TV
housewives friends or whatever.
Mhm.
Dolores is when you look up ride or die friend in the dictionary, she is it. She is loyal. She's old school Italian. Like, and she tell people she found out she got 8% black in her with her ancestry. Cause she when she would go on the Wendy Williams show, Wendy Williams would always be like, you the black people favorite person off of New Jersey, because we feel like you might be one of us. She was like, I have 8% in my blood, so I am, or whatever. So it's a running joke, but she's very loyal. She's low key. She's not somebody that does all that rah. If you come at her, she'll stand up to you and then you'll be sorry. Like she's like waking a sleeping giant. Like you don't really want to do it. Like she's nice, she presents well, like she good. Like everything's good. She your friend, she loyal. She's never going to cross you. She's the person that you don't say, why didn't you say something about me when they were talking about me in the room? You don't have to worry about that because she's gonna say something. She's gonna be like, that's my friend, don't talk about her. Or why y'all saying that about my friend? She's very, very loyal. She's a good friend. So
it sounds like she could be a player in this game. I mean, I would work. Loyalty is important in a game like
Loyalty
this.
is very important.
Yes. So if she can get in with the right crew,
yes,
she go far.
She is what you would call a loyal faithful. Like, and I think if she was a traitor, people who know her would never think she was a traitor and would think she's the most loyal faithful there is. Like, if you know her, you would just be like, man, she would never do that. Not Dolores, So
yeah. Oh, I can see that then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't watch Jersey anymore, even though I live here. But I'm excited to see what she can bring. And again, like I do feel like we do have a lot less housewives this season, thankfully. Only because I feel like last season it was just that one crew of like, it felt like it was a crew of them and they weren't bringing much strategy to the game. Mm-hmm. So breaking that up and having a lot more strategic people in.
How many housewives did we have last time? I mean, it's like 4 this time, right? It's 4 this time. How many did we have last time?
We had
Phaedra, Tamra, Larsa. You okay?
Was MJ one?
She's
from Shaw's, but still very similarly because she was still Bravo.
I think we had 4 housewives last time. We got 4 this time.
What's Kate?
Kate who?
Kate, the one that came back?
Oh no, she was on Below Deck. Kate, I'm sorry.
So maybe it was more of a Bravo connection that.
Yeah, it was the Bravo posse that was the problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I just I'm excited to see if we can get a little bit out of that because I would like to see a little more strategy in this game.
Well, after what Miss T. Joy said, I'm interested to see Miss Dolores, see what she's like, see how she plays, especially if she's a loyal person.
Yeah, Daryl calls her a ride or die, so we will see what that could bring to the game.
Good and bad.
Good and bad.
Yeah, good or bad.
Next up is Dorinda.
Don't know her.
Housewives of New York.
Housewives of New York.
She was put on pause. Remember, I was telling y'all that the Dubai was put on pause. Mm-hmm. Dorinda get to fussing with people because they be like, "You were fired from Housewives." She was like, "Andy said I was put on pause." Mm-hmm. She hates for people to say she was.
And that's what I said earlier. I said they're gonna be like, "Oh, this was on pause. That's on pause," and then they'll bring them back and be like, "I wasn't fired. I was just on pause."
Yes. she has a famous saying, right? She'll be like, she'll be like, I make it nice. Make it nice. That's her famous saying. Like, she makes everything nice. She likes to throw a good dinner party and she does all this stuff and she makes it really nice. And when she get to fussing with people, she like, why would you do this? I did all of this for you and I made it nice. Like so she is on 10 once she has 3 cocktails. That's what I'm interested in. When they get to that bar after they leave that table or they come back from that challenge and they get to that bar, that's when you got to worry about Dorinda. When she's sober, she good. She good. She gonna compete. She gonna be on her best manners. You gonna know she from Manhattan. She gonna carry herself with class. But once they get to that bar, baby, and she had them 3 martinis, it's a wrap. She a different person, and she been to cuss everybody out. So and they're gonna wake up the next morning and fix you breakfast and say, how was your night? So she ain't do nothing. As though she did nothing. As though she didn't push somebody in the pool or cuss them out the night before. That's how Dorinda is. So this will be interesting.
These housewives have interesting names. Dolores, Dorinda. I hate that.
Dreadful Ruby says exactly what I was saying. I stopped watching Jersey a few years ago, and I guess they rebooted the whole cast. Yes. They did the same thing with New York, like the entire cast.
Oh, New York is the entire cast. Jersey just has like 3 new people. That's it.
Yeah. Yeah. So most of the staples, except for the Manzos, aren't really on there anymore, right?
No. So it's just Teresa from the original. Teresa would be the only one left.
And Melissa's not there.
Dolores came season 3. So like Dolores was around, but not a housewife, and then season 3 she became a housewife. So
yeah. Dreadful Ruby says Dorinda is a mess in the best way. So I'm looking forward to that then. I'm always looking forward to cast. Oh, really? Dreadful Ruby says Jersey just announced it yesterday. They're all done. Oh,
well, that's what they said, and then they came back. And because they tried to reboot, they were thinking about rebooting it like they did New York, but they saw the New York numbers and they thought against it, so they scratched it.
But they also sent New York to streaming that time, and it was good. Like I watched a lot of that first season with New York. I liked it, but it was streaming, so I don't know what they expected.
But it came on regular Bravo too.
Afterwards.
No. It always came on regular Bravo. I watched all the Housewives shows. Oh. It always came on regular Bravo and then streaming the next day.
I thought the first season of New York, after they rebooted it, was if I remember, they dropped it fully online streaming, and then they went back and started putting it on Bravo. That because I remember I was like, why would they do that? You rebooted the entire cast. Let people decide if they like them. Anyway, Bravo will be doing stuff, and I'm just like, does this make sense? Yeah, and you've made the Housewives your business.
It's your business, and they make decisions against it all the time.
Yeah. Next up is Dylan Efron.
Zac Efron's brother, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I don't think he's ever. Does he do anything but be known for being his brother? Like
I never seen him in anything.
Oh.
I mean, being Zac Efron's brother, I guess, is
get you on Traitors.
Not bad. It obviously gets you on Traitors, but yeah, he is his little brother. He appeared in his docu-series Down to Earth, which I think was on Disney Plus, maybe. No clue. He could come and rock this thing. Okay. All right. This is Dylan apparently called Bossa Rob the GOAT. So
reality TV.
Reality TV, and he might then make sure to go work with Boston Rob. So no clue.
I watched it says he was in The Accountant. I watched The Accountant with Ben Affleck. I watched that. I don't remember.
I don't think I ever watched it.
Extra or something.
And they said he was in Ready One Player, but I didn't. Ready Player One. I didn't watch that.
Was he a background person? I don't know. Dylan was telling Jeremy that he is a fan of Survivor. Okay, so that makes sense then. We'll see. I mean, some of Survivor does translate well to this show, but also other parts of it is just doesn't help you. So we'll see if if watching how many ever seasons of Survivor will help him get through the show. And just going around maybe and saying, hey, Zac Efron's my brother. Maybe that'll work. Might. Never know. Next up, we have Gabby Windey of The Bachelorette, The Bachelor, and Dancing with the Stars. So Gabby Windey started on The Bachelor, Clayton Echard season in 2022. She was joint runner-up. You would say anyway. That was a shit show of a season. Anyway, she was joint runner-up with Rachel Recchia, and then because of how Clayton handled the season, they gave them their own season of The Bachelorette and made them share it.
Yes.
Which was also a shit show.
Yes. Yes.
And then the person she chose was a bit of a racist.
And then she had to let him go.
And then she had to let him go. And then she went on Dancing with the Stars and was a runner-up there with Val. Did really well. Then hosted some tours of Dancing with the Stars on tour. And now she is very similarly to Chrishell. She's in a relationship, I believe, with a TV writer. And yeah, so Gabby, listen, one thing Gabby seems to do well is become runner-up.
Dang. Okay.
So that means she gets the end. Those are all non-strategic shows though. So I don't know. Will that winning spirit get her to the end of this game?
I don't think so. I don't feel like she's cut. I don't feel like this is her show to win. That's just my opinion. I
like Gabby. I think she'll have a good social game. For the most part. I just want to see how, like, is she going to be a faithful? Is she going to be a traitor? I don't think she would do well as a traitor.
No.
I think she might do fairly okay as a faithful, and we could see how far that takes her. Pretty much all I got. I love. Don't get me wrong. I love Gabby. I'm not sure how she's gonna play this game.
Yeah.
But excited to see what she can bring. On the other side, we have Jeremy Collins of Survivor.
Yes, I love Jeremy. He's played Survivor 3 times. The first one, 3. The first one was a blood versus water season where I immediately fell in love with him because they split the families or relationships apart on 2 different tribes, and he had to face his wife in a battle to give his tribe an upper hand, and then whoever lost had to go to like Extinction Island. And he beat his wife for his tribe and then cried like a baby. Like
as he should.
Cried like a baby because he just loves his wife. And it was just, that is one thing that always resonated with fans is he's such a family man. He goes hard for his wife. Played that season. Then he came back and actually won his second time around. Played a great game. Got to the end with Tasha, who I love. And then he played and then he played Winners at War and did fairly well. He got like past Merge. So he did decent. He's a very respected player. Most people that watch the show will know and remember Jeremy, but he's not going to have as big of a bullseye as like a Rob,
that we've seen.
That we've seen.
Or a Tony.
Yeah, or a Tony. So
Yeah.
I think that Jeremy can, like, his personality is calming. He's
Mhm.
disarming, very
Yeah.
charming. So I have a lot of hope for him in this game. I think if he
Me
gets in
too.
with the right people, his personality can do well in a game like this. And he's not like a screaming Boston Robert Tony. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's
Mhm.
way more laid back than them. Way more laid back.
Okay.
For me, with Jeremy, I think he would do well as a faithful, and I think he would do well as a traitor,
Yeah.
which is key in this game because in case you ever have to convert, you need that. He
Mhm.
has the nicest disarming personality, and he has also that little edge that you need to push you to the win, right? In
Yeah.
either option. Um, so I'm excited to see Jeremy play. As Dreadful Ruby says here, um, Jeremy is the Survivor cast member that I have the most faith in going far / winning, and I
Same,
can
Ruby.
absolutely say I can
Yeah.
absolutely see that. And Dreadful Ruby said I would like to see him as a trader. I
Same.
would like to see it too.
Yeah.
If I was going to say somebody I want trader day one, Jeremy.
Yeah.
Jeremy.
Especially out of the group of gamers we have,
Yeah,
him or Danielle would be like my picks for a
yeah,
trader.
yeah. Daryl says
I'm
Jeremy
excited. I've never
Jeremy
seen
says he
him.
hopes that there are other survivors in the castle. He said, I have a good reputation with survivors, unlike Tony. And he said that he doesn't want to see Rob because he doesn't know where
They
he
stand. Yeah.
stands with him. And that's also fair. And you know what? Maybe you don't go, I'm leaning survivor as my team
Strategy.
in
Yeah.
this because your options for survivor are two people who have been known in survivor, and if you watch survivor, if
You know
you
who
are a
they are.
fan of survivor, you know who Tony and Boston Rob are.
Yes,
They're both
absolutely.
winners, but they're also both like they have that winning mentality, you know what I mean, like to go forth and like try to get to the end, but they also have the worst personalities.
Yeah, because I knew them
Right?
without
You
seeing
just
their
want to know.
seasons. That's how you
Would
know
you
them.
say Miss T Joy?
I knew them without even seeing their seasons, Boston, Rob, and Tony. So that's the
Yeah.
thing. Like I have never seen Jeremy's season, and I don't know him because he's not like them. So I think that's gonna help him not have a target on him. You know what I mean? Like loud and wrong, like Boss. Tony is loud and wrong. Boston
Yeah,
Rob could be
my
right.
favorite Boston Rob season is which one do you think is my favorite Boston Rob season?
The first one?
The one with Amber.
Yeah, that's the
Watching them,
second one. And he killed it. Like,
yeah,
well, we'll get to Rob soon, but
yeah.
yeah.
Like watching
Yeah.
him and her fall in love, and then
Yeah, why dodge, like I don't know why I didn't say that. But yeah, their love story was
yeah,
beautiful that season. And
yeah.
they slayed.
It was beautiful, and it also gave me a different perspective of Rob. But like other than that, the man, you never know what you're gonna get. Just no.
Listen. All right, I can't wait till we get to him. Who's next? Rooting for Jeremy, of course.
Yes.
Yes, let's root for him.
And we have Lord Ivar Mountbatten. So do either of you know who this is?
No.
Yeah.
So he is the second cousin to the current monarch, King Charles III, and he
Oh.
also is a farmer, I believe. He is a geologist, and he also is the first openly gay member of the British monarch's extended family. So he was married to a black woman for a very number of years. He has 2 children, I believe. And then he got divorced, and now he is married to a man. And his ex-wife walked him down the aisle, which was cute.
Oh.
Yeah. I think it was their children's idea. So,
We
yeah.
don't have
So
much to go off of. But I thought
She probably knew. She knew.
Yeah, I mean, I think in that some respects you usually do.
What was the guy last season with the accent? The little older guy that ended up working with Pilot Pete.
Oh, yes, I know who you're talking about.
I can't think of his name, but
he
he
was from
ended up like
he was from Parliament.
Yes, and he was like some comedic relief. He ended up John, thank you, Rafi.
Yeah,
He ended up being a little fun. So I won't count this guy out. Maybe he'll be
yeah.
like John.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like from what the background that I did read, he's very smart. He's a farmer. He's a geologist. He has a lot of brilliance. He is worked for big companies as well. So he probably has a at least maybe some book smarts. Um, what is his social game? No idea. What is his strategic game? Who knows? But let's see what he can write. And he probably will end up on Traitors in the UK or something. Next up is Nikki, as Miss T. Joy said earlier, Garcia, formerly known as Nikki Bella of the Bella Twins. And you know her from wrestling, from Dancing with the Stars. And she also currently hosts a podcast with her sister, the Garcia twins. They
have their own show too.
They did have their own show
on E. Yeah, they did.
Yeah.
The Bella twins, like it was.
Yes, that's it, Miss T. Joy. I'm aware of who she is.
Yeah,
but I don't.
She used to be engaged to John Cena. You know John Cena.
Yeah,
they used to be a thing. They were together a long time. She was begging him to marry her. He finally proposed to her, and after her being with for like 5 or 6 years, watching her twin sister get married, have babies, she was like, "Please, please." And then he proposed to her, and then like they broke up. Like she was always more into him than he was to her, and you could tell it. And she kind of wore him down. He proposed, but then it just didn't work. And so then she went on Dancing with the Stars, and she fell in love with her partner. And then
who's her partner?
now they're going through a divorce, girl. Because did you hear about
it? She was married to
Artem.
Oh yes, I saw some articles about Artem. The people.
Girl, they got into this big thing, and it was a domestic issue. And then she filed for divorce the next day. And apparently, she's saying his temper and all of this stuff been going on. You know what I mean? But she was trying to deal with it with the baby and all that stuff, and now she was over it or whatever. So they're getting a divorce.
Yeah. Artem was also on So You Think You Can Dance. And before he was on Dancing with the Stars. And Daryl saying Nikki was a judge on America's Got Talent Extreme. Did not know that. That actually makes sense. So listen, Nikki, from what I've seen, in her interview skills, superior. Social game, I think she would definitely have on lock. And we know, again, she was a wrestler. So she probably will be able to do challenges really well. Strategy, we'll have to see how that lines up. But I think if she gets it in with a good group, I could see her going far.
Yeah, me too.
Daryl also says that she was also on Hell's Kitchen with her sister. Fun fact.
She's been everywhere.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And she knows a lot of people. She's been in the business for a very long time. People respect her. People love her and her sister. I can see her going far.
Yes, me too.
Next up we have Mr. Austin Rob Mariano.
Listen, he's played Survivor 5 times. People have all 5 and was on another season of Survivor as well as a coach. He's a hell of a player. I mean, people think he's overrated. Okay, that's fine. But like, if y'all saw him on Deal or No Deal Island, there's no way they should have let that man get as far as he did. Like, he gets in these games And especially when there are other people who don't know what they're doing, he freaking makes his way to the end. But people have named him on this show, and I'm worried he's gonna be like a Johnny Bananas of last season, honestly. Because like
First
if I
out.
know Rob,
Yep.
he gotta go. Because that man, once he sinks his claws in and gets with the crew, it's like they all lose.
It'll be Pilot Pete 2.0.
Yes, they will lose brain cells and they will march to the end with him as a traitor.
Right.
Like, so they
I can
need
see
to
that.
get rid of Rob because he just has something and he's good at these games. Even Deal or No Deal, he just turned 49. So he was like 47, 48, keeping up with them kids in these challenges. He does not play. And it
No.
wasn't like I gained a lot of respect for him as a player when he was on 40 Survivor because that man just always gives his all. He was, older, had gained a lot of weight, but he was keeping up with them. But I cannot in this cast, not because of his lack of skill, but in this cast, and for as known as he is, he should have. This is just an appearance check, in my opinion.
Right. As Rafi said, first boot, period.
Like, I cannot see how they will let this man go. If they are idiots, if they let him get past 1 or 2.
And we
I
know
know.
they're idiots.
I know.
Yeah, because he's just good at
Unless he's, yeah, I know. Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Even the survivors are like, I don't want to see Boston. Like,
because they know, and it's like,
They
and
do.
like you're saying, that's a check away from them because the man will get his teeth into the situation, and then they
Next thing you know,
even
he's
if
at
he's
the end.
even if he is the traitors of traitor, they will never be able to get rid of him.
Yep.
Yep. They better, if they're smart, he will leave early. Be like bananas. Like, you don't let people like him stay in the game because.
So yes, at Boston Rob, is there any other thing?
I mean, he was on Survivor 5 times. He did Deal or No Deal Island. He does like celebrity, like makeover show. He's everywhere. Now he's like,
Right.
and that's another reason why I think he's not going to go far because he's hosting the after show for Deal or No Deal Island this season. So we'll see.
We'll see. And as I said earlier, he fell in love with one of his fellow Survivor alumni. They've been married for how many years?
Yeah.
And they have how
4
many
girls.
children? Yeah.
4 children. Very family oriented. If you follow him, you'd see that.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not as harsh on Rob as some other people are. I don't like, especially like watch him in Deal or No Deal Island last season. I bet you'll enjoy him.
Yeah.
Like, him and Aaron were so fun.
There's nowhere to watch it because Peacock just removed it. It's on NBC. That's not on Peacock. I don't know. Listen, these streaming services don't like money. I've decided that. Dreadful Ruby says if someone good goes immediately because Rob comes in, I'm going to be disappointed. I've seen enough Rob for a lifetime, and I will have to agree with that. If there's anyone kind of like the Johnny Bananas, like Johnny Bananas that year was on like 4 different reality TV shows.
Yeah, absolutely, he was. It was
and so when he got cut last year, I was like, great. Wonderful,
Yeah,
good. Go watch him on House of Traitors if you really need to watch, or the challenge. Or, like, we were fine. He was upset.
All over Twitter. Upset.
He would not take his check and leave. I was fine because seriously, I did not need to see him play another game that year.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Boston Rob. Some people would love to watch him play. Daryl is one of those people.
Yeah, like like Daryl said, like he was, for the people that are very harsh on him, if you watch him in Deal or No Deal Island, a lot of people were like, okay, because people forget these are edited TV shows. It is not Big Brother. We do not have live feeds. We see a very edited version of these people.
Right.
No, I'm not saying he's perfect. He's had his moments in the past,
Right.
but he's not, for me, he's not as bad as people.
There's a lot of people, Russell, that we could call out. So, but I'm saying if I had to lose somebody who we know who probably play the game superiorly, and for them to go out early,
bye, Rob. Yeah, I'm not going to be sad about it.
Yeah.
I think that if he had just done like Survivor 40 and not the other shows since then, he might be all right. Maybe, but he's done. He played in Deal or No Deal Island.
Hi, Dabu. Dabu says Nikki's gonna win this. She can
She
Play
play
character
characters
easy.
play
easy.
characters easily. So yeah, I can see that.
Hi,
Um,
W.
See, Rafi, what Rafi said about Boston Rob?
Dante did make me see him differently because I've always viewed him as a villain.
That's because
I
he will
just
do whatever to win. He will
he
lie,
will,
backstab.
but I do think that for some of these games, that is how you have to play. Like
Yes.
Jeremy had to beat his wife in order to get to the end of the game.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's how it has to
You're right
be
about it.
sometimes. And as
Yes.
long as you remember this is a game.
Right.
This is a game. And I'm
It's a
trying to win
game.
some money. You'll be
Yeah.
all
Right.
right.
Yeah.
But that cutthroatness makes people scared because I saw this kind of related on the current Deal or No Deal Island. Somebody said to a traitor from last season, Parvati, they're like, I'm scared. He's like, there are lines in this game, and I'm scared of you because you have no lines. Like
Because no line. Right.
some
Yeah.
people have the ability to compartmentalize and like make you their best friend, but then slit your throat at the end. And not everybody has that. Rob has it, you know.
Right.
They,
I mean, we saw it with Suri. Like, again, the reason why we don't have non-famous people or non-influential people on our season is because Suri basically ran a bunch of non-famous faithfuls to take her to the end to beat them and take the money, and they were salty about it. And for her,
I mean, salty.
salty. Like for her, she made friends, but also
she was playing a game.
She was playing a game.
And she knows that. And I watched an interview with her where she said she felt bad for the people that she really came to enjoy. But at the end of the day, do I want to split money with somebody I met 2 weeks ago? Like, do I want to take money away from my family I just met you. Yes, I like you, but I just met you. I love my family and the opportunities that this can give them more than I like somebody. You might never speak to that person again. So some people are just not able to handle that.
Right. And people need to remember that. People need to remember that. Like, I came in here to win money because I got stuff I need to do, baby. I'm trying to buy a house. I'm trying to do this. I'm trying to put my kids through college. You don't know what the people came to do, but it's like, I met you 2 weeks ago. I can't have you taking money out and food out of their mouth. Like, that ain't gonna work. I'll send you a good Christmas gift. But I mean, that's it.
And I think the people that have played these reality TV game shows swallow that better. Like Parvati and Dan, and like the people that actually play competition reality take it more so as a game than the reality people for the first time playing. Like MJ was from reality TV, but she was butthurt.
Yeah.
They cut her, you know, because they knew she wasn't a traitor. They just wanted to share the money between themselves.
Right.
So,
because that was their alliance, which right?
Honestly,
but also we don't think they did it on purpose, but they should have did that on purpose. So, like, it would have made it even better. Like, but yeah, no.
Honestly, I cut a little grace to the people that get butthurt because I'll never forget. I had a conversation with another alumni. She's on season 39, Lauren Beck. Love Lauren Beck. But she said she used to be one of those ones that would say, oh, it's just a game. You know, it's just a game. And she said, then she played. And she's like, when people lie to you, it cuts deep. When they do you dirty, it's like, it cuts deep. She said she judged that so harshly until she played. So I try to make room for people to have their feelings, but not when they're like MJ. She just
she was. But also, as Rafi's saying, that season 1, they also annoyed me. Like you know, there was no reason for them to be going on about Suri the way they did. Like,
it was disgusting. I watched that like, y'all signed up for Traitors. Like, it's called Traitors. It's not
called
reality police here. Like,
no.
They faulted her for playing her role. That's why I'm saying these non-gamers get so like they just cannot take it.
Yeah. Driver Rudy said, yes, I always think that your loyalty is to you and your people in your real life, not someone you're playing a game with. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And Daryl says, Suri played a masterful game like Rob in Redemption Island. Okay. What's like? I don't want other contestants working hard and giving the jury a reason to write your name for $1 million. I want you annoy the crap out of everybody. Love her. And I see that. That's why I kind of said, like, even with the Caroline thing, like sometimes you have to play that role of you're going to see me, but also you got to not see me. So it's like like you're gonna not have to know who I am, but also there's a way you have to do it to gain the respect of other people. My whole thing is there are just going to be some people who are just butthurt, and you just
It
gotta
is what it is. They're going to be no matter what. Yeah.
yeah. So we'll see if Boston Rob can make it out of that case. Next up is Robin Dixon from Real Housewives of Potomac. Yes.
Robin Dixon married for the second time to Juan Dixon. They have 2 boys. Juan Dixon is a retired NBA player. He used to play for the Washington Wizards. So they were married, got a divorce. The best friend embezzled their money. Then he unalived himself, and they went through bankruptcy, and they were down, didn't have any money. They had to build themselves back up because by this time he had retired from the NBA, and they had to build themselves back up. They got on Potomac, and Robin started, bringing in the money from that, and then doing different things and appearances and stuff. And so they're back doing really well. She just opened up a Glow 30 med spa in Maryland, and she and Giselle Bryant, who is on the Housewives of Potomac, who is Jamal Bryant, the pastor's ex-wife. They have a podcast called Reasonably Shady. So Robin, this is the first season. This is season 9 of Potomac, and this is the first season that she isn't on there. She said, you know how they'll say they let the housewives say that they left. Robin came on the podcast and was like, I'm not gonna even BS y'all. I got fired. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like, oh, I left. It was mutual and this and that. I got fired. And so it is what it is. So it's kind of weird not having her on there because they used to call her and Giselle the Green Eye Bandits because they both have green eyes and light skin, but that's her best friend. They're still besties, even still, like they still have their podcast. And so Robin is very loyal. Giselle is the more outgoing, outspoken one, and Robin is more of the laid back, loyal one. Like Dolores is to Teresa, Robin is to Giselle. Basically, Robin is the Robin to Giselle's Batman. She's the loyal, more quiet one. But Robin is an Aries. So she has that fire in her. If you come at her too hard, you will get her wrath, but it's just going to take a lot to get it. But when she gets it, she's on fire. Mm. So yeah, she's good. I think that Robin would be a good faithful. I don't know how she would be as a traitor. But I think she would be a good faithful. I think she'll get along with the other housewives. She knows them. Right. I think, she's also like a basketball wife and a basketball mom. Like her sons play basketball. And she'll dress up, but she loves to be in jeans and a cute top and some, slingbacks or tennis shoes. So she is also a woman that can fit in with the guys. Like she's a guy's girl too.
Yeah,
she's a guy's girl too. So I think she'll have a good social game, and I think she'll fit in, with anybody. And I don't think they'll suspect her. She can just play the background. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, that's what she does.
So we'll have to see. Maybe she will. I don't know. After Phaedra last year, though, I think they'll be side-eyeing everybody because nobody thought Phaedra would be a traitor whatsoever, right? Right. So, they might not do that off the bat with her, but they might. You never know. Let's see. Who is next? Next up is Sam Ashari. who was, I believe, either married or in a relationship with Britney Spears.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know nothing about him except for he was with Britney. That's it.
Me neither.
Like, no words, no opinions. He's with Britney.
He was with Britney. He was in her music video for Slumber Party. They tied the knot in 2021, and then he filed for divorce in August 23. I think at the beginning of the relationship, a lot of people felt like he was like very kind to her, but then it started feeling like stuff started coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think people think that he had the best intentions in that relationship. That's what I've heard.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, so that's
I do give people grace with Britney though, because Britney is not stable. So I also give people grace with her because she's not the victim.
I'm being honest, I don't, but I understand.
Yeah, it's very hard. Like people right now are very angry at her children, and while yes, they are both now over the age of 18, I think it's very unfair.
Yeah, you don't know what they've been through over the
exactly.
years.
Right. Regardless of whatever you think about their father
or their mother.
He raised them. He raised them, and he brought stability to their lives.
Right. And the money situation involved in it. At the end of the day, they still are the children.
Exactly.
Right. And so we don't know what they've been through. Mm-hmm. We only know what we see on the outside. And
they just need to keep people's kids out of it. Like, I'm sick of them talking about Blue. Leave Britney's kids alone, adult or not. Like, you don't know how they grew up and what they saw and what they dealt with, because she was struggling.
Struggling.
Yeah. Dreadful Ruby says this is the cast member I could do without the most. And I feel fair.
Yes.
Absolutely fair. Next up after Sam is another cast member that maybe we could do without. Tom Sandoval.
The villain.
He will be the villain of this season. Literally, I don't think there will be a choice.
Yeah.
These are Bravo members, Netflix members. These people know who he is. He was involved in the biggest scandal. I don't even watch the show. And he was involved in the biggest scandal to rock reality TV in a while. A while.
Yeah, I never watched it either, but I just started being into Ariana because of like this. I'm like, oh, poor Ariana. Like, so then I started to like her, and then her host in Love Island. Like, of course, I fell in love with her. Like, but yes, he is the victim. I mean, she's the victim. He is the villain, and it's nothing he can do to erase that. It is what it is. It is what it is.
So we'll see if he leans into it. But Tom Sandoval was at the center of the scandal, cheating scandal on Bravo's Vanderpump Rules, where he cheated with another castmate who was also very good friends with Ariana Madix, his girlfriend at the time. I believe they lived together and everything.
Yeah.
And he also has appeared on other reality TV shows, including The Masked Singer and Special Forces. And I will say this, I don't know much about Ariana. I know she's a big girl's girl. I know that she's a big Love Island fan. And because of that, she did host Love Island USA this season. She seems like a very, very sweet person. And as someone says here, Rafi says, I think Sam and Tom will get targeted early because people don't play about Britney or Ari. And
that's
I can
make them the first two boots. Great.
Ruby says, though, I hate Tom, but at least I can hate watch him. And that's also a fair assessment as well. Joyful Ruby points out Chrishell in the preview said it would be cool if Ari was on, then walks in and sees Tom. And I remember, I think it was either Gabby or Nikki was like, oh, that's kind of, I'm not talking to him, right? So again, a hole that I don't see any type of loyalty being able, like, it's either banishment or murder. I'd
be like, this man's a proven liar. Let's get rid of him. He never tells the truth. That was
Yeah.
like
We
my
can't
first
believe
words.
anything this man says.
Right,
Exactly.
not one thing. So he could be a traitor, he could be a faithful. We'll never know because we can't believe anything. Let's just get him. I can see that
Well,
happening.
Darrow feels like I can see Traitors. I can't see Traitors getting rid of him if he's a faithful. He would be someone that everyone talks about and take the heat off the traitors.
That's a good
I could see that, but again, that's why I said it's either
Done at the round
banishment.
table. Yeah.
It's either banishment or murder, because the whole thing is they might not murder him, but somebody gonna banish him.
Right.
So
Yep, I agree with that.
we'll see how far you make it. He might also be in contention for first boot. And here we have Tony. God, I never know how to say
Blocos.
it. Blocos. Another Survivor alum. Let's see if I have his Survivor details.
He's played 3 times. He won the first season he ever played, then came back in Game Changers, I want to say, and went super early. He went head to head with Sandra. Did not work out well for him. So he went home that season and then came back and played Winners at War. That was the season of all the winners, and he ran away with it.
He did.
He did.
And I will say I didn't care for Tony his first season. Winners at War was a good season though. I will say that.
That first season, I don't know how he kept but he kept lying to his people, and going back and begging for forgiveness, and they forgave him. And
They forgave him.
He did some of their people dirty.
Dirty.
Tony,
Dirty.
he's like, for me, he seems so like when I see him out not playing a game, he seems so opposite of the Tony that's in the game. It's like when he's in the game, he becomes this frantic energy, like that's too much and too big. So I don't know how I think he's gonna do in a game like this. If he could calm down and chill and relax and be in a corner somewhere and not running around like he's crazy, he might be.
But I also see him being one of those faithful who is just loud and murderable.
Yes, absolutely. Because I've never seen him really do a good job of like containing his energy. He's just this really explosive, big personality that people within the game. Outside of the game, he seems so different than what he is when he's playing this game. It's like something takes over, and I
said it earlier, that winner's mentality, that ability to just go and be like cutthroat if you have to, lie if you have to, get to the end if you like, however. So again, I'm not counting Tony out. But again, similarly to Boston Rob,
yeah,
I people will probably be gunning for him because they know if you don't get him out.
Yeah.
And there's a lot. It seems like a lot of the people who are non-strategic players. There's a lot of like big into Survivor players.
Yeah.
So they know these people's reputations.
Right. And that's why, like, if I'm not sure if people will be like disgusted by what's his Scandival? What you say? That's how you say his name?
Yes.
Or they'll be like, okay, I can't worry about Scandival because I don't like the man, but I got to worry about that over there that's gonna outplay me. Like, I'm interested to see, because that would be me. I'm like, yeah, I don't like Tom over there. Right. I know he's a liar, but we'll worry about him later. I gotta worry about the people with the strategic mind that will outplay me.
Exactly.
But I hope.
Sarah points out that Tony was calm and toned it down in Winners at War. He went hard towards the end of the game.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I liked him during Winners at War more. But yes, and he says that he is one of the most humble human beings on the planet outside of game.
And listen, and when he's not on a TV show, he's like not on the planet. Like like during Survivor, like when it's airing, he's hilarious on social media. But once it's done, he goes away. So he popped back out recently because he got this show, and he's also on AUS versus World, like Australian Survivor players versus a whole bunch of other Survivor players.
Oh, is that on?
It's coming out later. It's already filmed. Spoilers are
everywhere. Ciara was on that too, right? Ciara.
Yes, and we'll talk after this because I know what went down. But he's popped back out because he's on TV. So if Tony can be calm and not freak out. I think he has the ability to do well, but we'll see how he handles a game like this. I'm super curious to see how his personality fits into a game like this.
Okay.
Okay. I'm interested to see if he can make it past episode 1. And how far he'll be able to take it.
Yeah, Ruby, it's gonna be good. I can't wait either. Sorry.
Yeah.
I had to answer her.
Driver Ruby says, I love the final 3 at Winners at War, and I would have been happy to see any of them win, but Tony deserved it. Next is, and it might be last.
Oh, yeah, I think that's the last one. Oh no,
is Wells Adams.
I don't know who that is.
He
From The
is
Bachelor.
from The Bachelor.
Oh, so you know all about her.
Yeah. So Wells Adams.
Well, is it W-E-L-L-S?
Wells.
Short for
Yeah.
something?
Like Wells Fargo? Wells.
I know, but that's his real name. Like his name is
Yeah.
Wells?
Yeah.
Wow.
Wells, yeah.
I've never seen anybody with this name in my life.
You know, people be naming their children their last name all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
Walker,
he could,
Dixon, they just be taking their last name and naming their children.
that's Beyonce. Beyonce's mother's maiden name is Beyonce. This is wild.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Go
And they
ahead.
spelt it wrong. Yeah. And that's how she got the spelling of her name. Because it's supposed to be Benice.
Mm-hmm.
I believe. Okay, so Wells Adams competed on JoJo Fletcher's season of The Bachelorette before he then went on to compete on Bachelor in Paradise and eventually became the bartender for that show, which we haven't had BIP in a few, like in a year, but he is still currently the bartender for BIP. And he is married to Sarah Hyland, who was the star of Modern Family and also a former host of Love Island USA. Wells has a good social game.
Yeah.
I can definitely see people keeping him around just for that.
He's harmless. He's going to be kept around because he's harmless.
Yeah.
He's harmless.
And he's loyal. He's loyal. So he gives good advice. That's why he's the bartender.
He'll probably get behind the bar and make Dorinda some drinks.
Yeah.
Tell him everything.
You'll be trying to keep Caroline nice and calm.
Yeah.
Strategy, I don't know.
I think his strategy is going to be the guy next door, the friend, to lay low and find his tribe and blend in and make no waves. I think that's going to be his strategy.
Right. I could see that. Listen, it could, for me with Wells, he's one of those other, like some of the other plays that I've said, like Ciara, blank slate. He could come in here
and be amazing. Yeah. Or go out in roaring flames.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
He could surprise us and be a Bergie and have some strategic thinking, and we never know.
No. Yeah. So that, I believe, is the full cast of Traitors.
I'm so excited.
Yes.
Do you think it's just going to be one episode tomorrow?
3, I heard.
It's 3 episodes.
Yay!
It is 3 episodes. So we will discuss amongst us how we're going to cover those 3 episodes before next Thursday. Whether we will do 1 episode at a time or 3 episodes at once. So we will figure that out and then figure out a date. So please, again, subscribe and hit the notification button just in case, so that we could go live and in case we have to go live multiple times this week. So I am excited for this season. As I said, I think it's a good mix of strategic and social and just a bunch of blank slates that could do anything in this game.
Mm-hmm.
We could absolutely be cooking with grease right now, that it could be like one of the best seasons.
Absolutely.
Of Traitors. Oh, hi, Glenda.
Hi, Glenda.
I'm not sure about when they're coming out.
Yeah, I miss you ladies. Can't wait for the season. Thanks, Glenda. We're not sure if they're dropping them at midnight tonight or 9 tomorrow. I know people have been asking. They did not tell me when when I got PR. They haven't told me. So if I find out anything, again, follow me on Instagram and Twitter, Blue Sky. I will run a thing under here so you can have all my little social, and also it's in my bio. So that I will tweet it if I can or share it if I can once I know for sure. But it's definitely 3 episodes. We just don't know how it's going to be. Dreadful Ruby says Ciara is fantastic and she's one of my favorite Bravo personalities. So yeah, I think we have a good potential that we could find lightning in a bottle. We absolutely could. So I'm excited for the season. Watch this space. Janelle, I guess tell the people where they can find you. I have to do your banner for next time, but go ahead, tell them where they can find you.
I'm just Janelle Michaud on everything. I try to stay away from X, Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook. And I'll be hopping on Silent Podcast for Traitors and hopefully Deal or No Deal Island as a guest. Same with Black by Reality Podcast. I'm going to go on there with Nicole at some point to also talk Traitors with her. So I'll be everywhere. And of course with you guys.
Yeah. And Miss T Joy.
You can find me at Miss T Joy on all platforms. I mean, I did get off of X, but I am on this Blue Sky.
Oh, yay! I gotta follow you on Blue Sky.
Thank you.
Yes.
So awesome. And as always, you can follow me on Entertainment in Color nearly everywhere. Also, Entertainment in Cole Media on Twitter because they took my account and never gave it back. So for me, guys, I am doing something new this year. So I have, by popular demand, seriously, a few of my friends was like, why don't you do this? And I was like, okay, because I'm crazy. So I started a Patreon to do live reactions to TV shows and to different things. So right now I have a Patreon launched. It has 2 membership tiers. Tried to make them affordable. But I will be doing live reaction to some TV shows, some scripted shows, and to some reality TV shows. So right now, my first show out is What If, Season 3, Episode 1 of Disney Plus. I live reacted to that show, which I love that show. It was their final season that started I think it was like the end of December. And so I'll be watching those episodes and putting them on Patreon and reacting to the final, like, I think it was like 4 or 5 episodes. And then also I will be live reacting to The Way Home Season 3 from Hallmark Channel. If you have not watched that show, that show is amazing. Has a little bit of a supernatural tinge to it. I love it. And then also Love Island UK All Stars. So Love Island All Stars starts on Monday. I will be live reacting to watching the episodes. I also will be trying to join Chantel on some recaps and reviews, as well as if you just saw the cast list for Love Island All Stars dropped yesterday. And so join my Patreon. I will be live reacting to the cast list, what I think is going to happen, what we can, in my thought process, actually think how the season's going to go based on the OGs that we have. And I will be doing that only on Patreon. So if you can, join my Patreon. Otherwise, you could join me here for, of course, the Traitors and whatever other live reviews and recaps I decide to do. I've been just trying to go through the different shows. It is hard to watch when they drop 3 episodes of a show at once. Just to be fair. So we're trying to figure out the scheduling and make sure that we can get these episodes to you consistently. We will be doing Miss T Joy and Chantel will be doing Grant season of The Bachelor. We think maybe like one episode on my channel, then one episode on her channel, and kind of like stage it that way, like we've done before. And then we'll try to figure out some other shows that we can recap for you guys. There's a lot of reality TV coming out, so I'm excited to see how like some of these shows do, because they're actually a lot of my favorite people are coming on these shows in the next few months this year. So thank you guys for joining us. If you have any questions, you can always find me on Twitter, Instagram. If there's a show that you're like, hey, Mika, recap this, or hey, react to this, again, send it my way and I'll do my best. Thank you, Rafi. So thank you guys for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Bye. Good night.